Forbes India presents DRIM CosmoFest, Future of Digital Influence.
Today we are starting our first fireside chat with outstanding speakers with whom I'm absolutely honored to share the same stage. Amitkumar Banka, who is head of growth, marketing, user acquisition, retention, product initiative at Swiggy, the app that all of us use. So we will speak today. We have a very interesting, well-framed fireside chat, tasting success, rediscovering the joy of brand-consumer connect. So let's start with the discussion.
Sure.
The first question will be about how brands like Swiggy oversee striking a balance between harnessing technology as well retaining a human connection with the consumers in the digital age. And I think Swiggy does fantastic job here.
I'll just give you an understanding first. So technology, I think all the e-commerce platforms, any tech-based company or product-based company is very strong on technology. And over here we are trying to build a lot of technology on the back of user experience. Right, when a user comes on the Swiggy app, and we have multiple different offerings for them. So food delivery is one of the offering. You have Instamart, which is quick commerce or quick grocery offering, and we also have Dine Out, which is almost like an online to offline kind of offering, where people go and dine out in a specific restaurant and get some offers and discounts. The thing is, when a user comes on Swiggy, although it's a super app, we actually want to make their journey in such a way that they see all these offerings as a single bundled offering, which actually becomes a one-stop solution for them for a lot of their food-specific requirements, right? Even if they want to dine out, there is something over here. If they want to buy something for their home in terms of grocery, there is something over here. If they want to buy food directly from a specific restaurant, they have a lot of options on the app. And that is where we also do a lot of cross-pollination amongst the users. That is where technology is very, very important for us, right? Where a user is, let's say, going on food, part of the food section, how do we ensure that they also get certain understanding about grocery, they also get certain understanding about dine out, wherever these businesses are also prevalent in respective cities in India, right? So technology mainly governs around the user experience, engagement, gamification on the platform itself. Now, how do we bring in human touch? The first human touch, what I feel from any delivery organization is with respect to the delivery executives, right, or the delivery partners who actually go and deliver the final product to the user. We have very intensive training for them to ensure that the last mile delivery, what they do with the user, becomes an experience for the user or the customer, right? They actually need to keep a smile. They say thank you, right? The way they will hand over the parcel or the package to you also has a specific etiquette, what they follow. So that is one point where we actually try to do a lot of stuff in terms of human connect. Second is with respect to your brand connect. Now, if you see and this is specifically done by all the brands, we have a lot of family emotions which comes into our ad films, right? We also have a lot of ad films where we talk about human nature, right? India being a discount-heavy country, we also try to bring in a lot of those elements from a human perspective. That even a king, I'm not sure if you have seen the recent ad of Instapur, which is of Instamart, where a king is also talking about getting discounts and a faster delivery from the grocery section of Swiggy. So a lot of these things actually couple themselves with respect to human intervention or human connect. Next one is with respect to influencers, right? Initially, we had started off with a lot of mega influencers and celebrities. When I say celebrities, these are celebrities who are like TV celebrities, having 500,000 to 1 million and plus kind of followership. Now, this is very important to actually build a brand, right? Because that is where people start connecting with your brand. But eventually, we started moving towards more micro and nano influencers because they get you the last ecosystem or circle of influence of users who know them personally. People may not know a celebrity personally or a mega influencer personally, right? It is just they are trying to inspire or aspire to become those kind of role models. But when you have somebody who is between you, that is where a very direct connect comes with respect to influencers. So we are trying to connect all these dots to get a very sophisticated and a very high human touch for the entire journey what they have on Swiggy.
I especially like on Swiggy, when some event is happening. It's amazing creativity, which I feel also make you feel the human
So I'm not sure if
connect.
you have seen that when this movie was launched, RRR. So on the map, yes, on the delivery map, when you have ordered something, the delivery person was changed to that Natu Natu song, right? So they were literally dancing and the person was coming to your house.
I saw it. I truly, I'm telling you, I live on Swiggy because I don't cook, I order always. So it's outstanding. And also the other thing which I noticed as a change for me was a human connectivity. You can tip delivery partners, right? Before it was just a tip number, but then it's like what it means for them.
Yes.
20 rupees is a chocolate, 50 rupees is a, I don't remember what exactly, but that was a kind of that you feel like contributing to other person. That also brings a human connect.
Yes, and a lot of people actually do that. We have seen that more than 75-80% of users actually end up giving some kind of tip to the delivery executives. Specifically when the delivery has been on time, the person has actually come through a lot of struggle. If it is raining outside, if there's a jam outside, and they deliver things on time and in a perfect condition, people do tend to give a lot of tips to the delivery executive.
I also want to bring here that, if you have any questions, just raise your hand. We will keep time for Q&A. But during Q&A, as I said, there is no difference between that someone sipped in as a speaker or just like, you also have a rich experience, guys. I want you to feel comfortable and learn and share insights. So just raise your hand.
Hi, Amit. First of all, I'm addicted to Swiggy, so kudos to you. I'm Gayatri. I head marketing for venues in Innowear and Athleisure. When you were mentioning specifically about nano influencer, my digital marketing manager is also here. The kind of effort we go through to find the right set of influencers and execute it. And finally, when we look at the ROI metrics, my performance marketing beats it hands down.
Obviously, that's correct.
Is there any metric that you use to, state that this is a success? This has built that influence, actually.
So what is happening now is, as we are moving from mega influencers and celebrities towards more micro and nano influencers, we are using similar attribution model what we have for performance marketing. For example, if you are running a campaign on Google or Meta or Instagram or any other programmatic channel, right? How do you have similar attribution model for a micro or a nano influencer? You will have your own MMPs, right? Which will be helping you with attribution. So in Swiggy, what we are building as a platform now is to build a very long tail of these micro nano influencers who actually work on either cost per order or cost per acquisition kind of a metric. And it is very easy for us to track that because the third-party attribution model or the platform which is there is impartial, right? It will be giving the right attribution to each and every channel from where the sale is coming in. So that actually helps us to cut down on inefficient channels. In this case, even if there are certain cohorts of micro or nano influencers, we can cut them down. And we keep on investing on more prominent and profitable micro nano influencers.
So you were talking about cost of acquisition model for your influencers. We do see that a lot of times when you start working on this model, the brand guidelines, the campaign briefs are not as heavy. You don't have ability to put restrictions or follow a certain metrics with them when you're doing these channels. How do you work it out that your brand's theme and ethics and ethos stay in the same place and you don't go away from the diversion of also being able to give your influencer an ability to create, but follow that? I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I handle the partnerships and affiliates for Jiva.
Okay.
So I'm sure, so just now how you said like the AOV aspect and how you're building as a brand, we have worked with a lot of big influencers. Our brand ambassador itself is quite known. So when you work with them and then you start moving to your micro influencers and a smaller one, how do you keep that streamline and you make sure that it also drives revenue for you while you're justifying and paying them well?
Sure. I'll take this question into two parts. There are some friends of mine who are there from Flipkart also, and we have done this in Flipkart in the past, is that you have two options of getting micro and nano influencers. One is on-platform content creation, right? You can actually specify guardrails over there because somebody needs to log in, even if they're creating the content offline, they need to log in into your system, they need to log into your app or whatever portal you are creating for people to upload their content. Now that window itself becomes your QC point. And it is very easy for us to keep a lot of samples and brand guardrails or brand guidelines over there, which most of these influencers will follow. Because they know if they don't follow that, their content is bound to get rejected, right? And they would like to see that most of the things in terms of brand guidelines, not even brand guidelines. So apart from brand guidelines, you will also need a lot of content which has right lighting, right composition, what they're talking about. You may not use slang language, right? There are certain prohibitory words which they should not use. So a lot of these things can be part of the template or the terms and conditions which is there on the platform. And when people are uploading the content over there, you can always have a filter either in terms of a manual team who is doing that or an automated process where some of these things can be figured out through a AI model or an algorithmic model, right? So that part is sorted with respect to on-platform content. Now, when you look at off-platform content, when let's say somebody is creating content and putting it on, let's say Instagram, for example, right? You don't have control that what that person has put on Instagram. In this parlance, what normally we do is we give them an offline guideline, offline template, along with coupon codes and landing page link, right? Now, when they create content over there, through certain agencies, we ensure that these content are reviewed by them in the light of whatever guidelines we have provided. Only beyond that, they are able to publish that content. Now, to keep ourselves safe from legal perspectives, what we do is in their terms and conditions or their contracts, specifically with the agencies, we also put a clause saying that whatever is the content, the IP doesn't lie with, let's say, Swiggy or Flipkart. It lies with the content creator. So legally, if something goes wrong, at least we are safe from that parlance. So a lot of these steps we have taken to ensure that we are giving the right freeway to the influencers or the creators to create content within guidelines, but also keep ourselves safe from any untoward incident with respect to either somebody suing us, okay, what this person is talking about, it is against a brand or it is hurting my religious sentiment or some other political sentiment. So we try to create some of these barriers and guardrails so that at least the company is safe from those parameters. But otherwise, the content is something, even if you are not getting on an influencer, he or she can actually go and build a content anywhere, right? For Swiggy, for any other company. So we cannot stop them.
So I think in terms that anybody can create content, we obviously live in a world where we don't have restriction over that. But when we are paying them and or even if we are working along with them and there's a contract bound between them, a lot of micro influencers don't really, like you just gave an example about it, but I think I was having a conversation with the team also. The restriction is not as much, like you don't have ability to give a lot more details that you would be doing as a normal influencer on the branding side. So that's where a lot of time companies, like a lot of brands have an hesitation that what if we will lose the actual ethos we have built for so many years or what we've maintained for now. And that's why I think when we were also looking at building micro-influencers, we were making sure that we don't lose the identity we have built over the years. And that's where like the whole idea of trying to go and experiment with this is also a little difficult to take as a decision.
But that is where your agencies and platforms like DRIM will actually help in terms of screening those content based on the guidelines you have. I agree with you. You may not be able to have very stringent guidelines for at least the external micro and nano influencers because they may not follow it. You might be able to give them certain very basic hygiene level guidelines. But I think that should be fine. Again, it depends from brand to brand. But at least people will get some freeway in terms of creating more content. And then eventually when we are moving ahead in that journey, you can start refining those guardrails, right? But on day one, let's say if you have very stringent guardrails for a lot of these micro nano influencers, we may not even get any content because they will get scared, right? But the uber objective over here is, are we getting those specific influencers who are able to influence their network or not? And influence the network, at least in my definition, is getting converted to an order or an acquisition.
Hi Amit, Aishwarya here.
Hi.
My friend Harshit here and I have launched India's first caffeinated snacking brand. Let me tell you something that Swiggy is my favorite app. I can't imagine a life without Swiggy. So thank you so much for this. My question is, how do you guys think about competition, in this case a clear competitor, Zomato, when you're planning online content strategy?
See, it is not about, when we say content, the objective again is with respect to having a higher reach, right? Now these set of influencers, whether they are celebrity, mega, micro or nano, if they're able to get you the right reach in the target audience or the target market what you're having, competition technically doesn't matter. Now where does competition actually stand? I'll tell you. If we are creating specific programs for either the users or these influencers to create content on the platform, right? That is where we'll be able to set ourselves apart from the competition. And I'll give you a small example. Instamart, the closest competitor, let's say for Instamart might be Blinkit, which is Zomato's company. Now, Blinkit has a very nice way of promoting their recipes. So they actually invite housewives, right? They are not even technically defined as influencers, but they actually have a program where they invite housewives or cooks, basically home chefs, to create recipes which they can publish on Blinkit, and with that recipe, they are able to tag the products which will help them to create or make that recipe. And all those products are part of the content, and all those products, the user, when they are watching the content, can directly go and put it in the cart and complete the transaction or the sale, right? Now, programs like this will eventually help either of the competition to grow faster in their TG. If you are able to create that engagement, that kind of gamification on the platform itself. So that is something most of the competitors, at least in the food tech industry, are planning to do, where involving the user to create content, get their own people in the network to see what kind of recipes they have made or what kind of food list they have made, and shop based on that is something which is going to differentiate the competition from each other.
Hi Yulia, hi Amit. I'm actually with Dipali here from Jiva. She is my manager. So this is a question which is more based on the future. I'm not too sure if you all will be able to like give me proper insight. Since you all know AI is a very, very prominent, you can say, prominent aspect of a lot of things right now. Me and somebody were having this conversation with regard to influencers. So we have AI influencers as well, right? What do you think is their success rate as compared to normal influencers? Because the authenticity of a real human being is missing. So do you think AI is the future, or do you think the actual influencers will still keep the cup?
So it is, it's very nascent to actually give a complete understanding of this. But we did have tried AI bots, basically, in terms of either influencers or with respect to customized or personalized chats also. Right? They may not create a content, but even when they are chatting with a customer, the entire chat is getting customized or personalized for that user, rather than becoming a more MCQ kind of an answer which a user gets. What we have seen is all the user get little more from a typical bot, but it cannot in today's date compete with a normal influencer or a actual human sitting on the other side, right? And the reason being that beyond a certain point, training these AI bots is little difficult. Second thing is, again, this is my hypothesis, we don't have an history of followers for these AI bots, right? Now, when we are looking at influencers, what we are targeting is the network what they have, not the person who they are. In most of the cases, from business perspective, I'm saying, right? Now, if these AI bots have a very good network, they actually become as good as a typical influencer for us. But if they're just a caricature or an incarnation of some other real human being which is there online, who is doing certain kind of speech or certain kind of content, they may or may not even get us the right traffic on the platform. So that is where this is still under evolution, is what I feel.
Can you share some instances of successful performance-based marketing initiative of your own brand or other brands that you've seen in the food tech industry? And how has it or have they influenced brand consumer relationship and sales? How did it influence into sales? How did it relate to the sales? So can you share some case studies, what was awesome done by you, either by some others? Absolutely.
So I think most of the performance marketing channels are common across everyone, right? All companies. You have your typical Google, Meta, Instagram, your programmatic entire channels. And there is a very big chunk of partnerships, right? Now, very few brands have been able to take the right advantage of partnership. Now, I'm just keeping aside the typical Googles of the world and the Metas of the world, and I'll just give you some instances and case studies of how it has performed specifically for Swiggy on a partnership perspective. Now, in partnership also can be performance driven, by the way, because when we are talking to a partner, it can either be a barter system or they normally charge us on a distribution cost basis. Now, when they're charging us on distribution cost basis, with most of the partners, we have kept an element of performance. Now, let's say if you are acquiring new user from any of the partners, we actually give them a target, or we actually give them an ROI or a cost per acquisition cost. That based on whatever inventory they are running the campaigns on their own platform, whatever integrations, whether it is deep integration or only ad inventory what they have, we would like to ensure that we are measuring them only on partnership front. Now, to give you some examples, we are doing very good partnership performance with Cred, because again, the TG, what Cred has, is very close to what Swiggy also wants, right? Because these are the users who are actually transacting on their credit card, they are paying bills. Some of the information what I have from companies like Cred and Check, right, who actually allows you to pay online credit card bills. The average credit card bill on a monthly basis for 80% of their users is as high as 1.5 lakhs, right? Now, I know that this is a TG what I want to go for. Now, second step what I'll do is I'll actually try to find out what is my overlap of my audience with them. Let's say if the overlap is very high, it's let's say above 50% in terms of overlap. I know that these users or these channels or these partners will be able to drive more orders for me from my existing users. If I'm able to give them some coupon, if I'm able to give them some kind of discount, or even if I'm able to integrate in their own reward system. Right? For example, Cred has a reward system, Check has a reward system, and we integrate with the reward systems. Second is, if I know that my overlap with them is low, which means my greenfield on my new users is very, very high, then I will change the business model for them. And they completely focus on acquiring new users for us. And this can be across any businesses what we have. It can be across food, it can be across Instamart or Dino, depending on what is the overlap with either of these partners. So these couple of partnerships, specifically with fintech organizations, is really working well for us. And some of them are already in pipeline as we speak, in terms of getting much deeper integrations with them.
I have a question here. How do I identify overlap?
So there is a way, technically you can do that. For example, if we have our own audience, and if we share those audience with them, or if they have an audience, it comes in terms of hash key. We can do the overlap amongst us to see how many percentage of users are there on either of the platforms.
Does it catch such companies like Cred and Swiggy will exchange the databases?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So once the NDA is signed, a lot of these things are.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Interesting.
Flipkart, it is difficult because now they are part of Walmart,
Yes,
so they are governed by international laws.
For example, we share with Paytm, right? And then what happened? Because the Paytm now is on competing note, right? I can see.
That's right, on the ONDC part, right? But still, Paytm has multiple different businesses. So Paytm also is working with us on their wallet and on their UPI integration part from food delivery perspective, grocery perspective, and dine out. Their ONDC is completely different from their own charter. See, if you see, Paytm also has their own e-commerce platform, right? Right. Paytm Mall, correct. But they're still running Flipkart ads, any other e-commerce ads they will be running. So I think a lot of these things are very, very different for most of the players, right? They're considered individual businesses in individual ways. So I'll give you one more example. When I was in Hotstar, and Amazon Prime was our biggest competitor over there, but during IPL and during World Cup, when Hotstar used to have the license and the rights, we used to run Amazon Prime ads. That too on the top, on the billboard, right? The first thing what you see when you open a Hotstar app, you will actually maybe see Mirzapur over there, right? So a lot of these things are...
No, I absolutely understand why it's happening, because the heavy traffic, you need to utilize it, the heavy licenses and etc. It shall be paid. But Swiggy will never run Zomato. That would never ever would happen.
That's it, and that is something which is a given understanding between both the companies, that they don't step on each other in a direct way.
Yeah, but ONDC is coming here that...
So ONDC, again, ONDC is in a very, very initial phase, right? So we are still looking forward in terms of how it will grow, how it will shape up, right? Most of the partners or most of the players who are also getting connected to ONDC, and this is completely my personal opinion, they are also doing a lot of trial and error. They also don't have a very strong strategy in terms of why do we need ONDC. Ab ONDC mil raha hai, so let's go and grab it. Something is available, let's take it. Right? Magic Pin has ONDC. You have Paytm who has ONDC. A lot of players are trying to get ONDC on their platform. But they have not yet solved the last mile problem.
I agree, yes. It's yet a long way to go, but...
So the point is, let's say once they start solving the last mile problem, once they also start solving customer escalations or customer support problems, our hypothesis is their price will no longer be competent.
Yes.
Right? And that is something what we are also waiting to see. How does it shape up?
Because that's their goal, right? To make
so if you see, Amazon also had Amazon Foods in the past.
Yes.
Uber had Uber Eats.
Yes,
I think Ola had also tried something. But all of them were not able to create that strong USP in that field, what Swiggy and Zomato has created.
Just a quick question. So you spoke about Cred and a couple of other partnerships, right? Just wanted to understand, how do you measure ROI there? I mean, I know direct attribution, etc., MMPs, all of it. I mean, I'm from the agency, so I wouldn't know.
So it is all same attribution model only. Wherever we are able to give one link or any other smart link, we have our own smart links internally. We actually share those links with them so that in our own CRM database, we are able to attribute the orders based on the last click or last touch basis.
Yeah, but when you said MMP, I don't think you'll be able to attribute your coupon orders, right? That could also be an overlap of organic plus your paid or any other source.
No, so for example, let's say my attribution window is 24 hours, for example.
Okay.
Right? That is from click to order.
Last click.
Last click to order, for example. And in that same 24 hours, 5 different channels have given me the same user.
Correct.
I will actually attribute that order to the last person irrespective of the coupon which is used.
Then in that case, your CRED will never be effective, right?
No, it is. So I'll tell you what people do. In CRED, normally what happens is, a CRED is not able to give us a passback signal.
Okay.
Okay, it is more of an offline reconciliation what we do, because that is again a limitation at CRED end. But if you see check is also in similar business. They can actually give us passback. So in CRED's case, what happens is because they are not able to give us a passback, they are still able to attribute the click in terms of which user has come from CRED. Plus the coupon code what we have given to CRED is a unique and exclusive coupon code, right? So in our system, once the order or the sale has happened, we are able to tie back that order to the right channel. It might have happened that let's say somebody has taken CRED's coupon because CRED has shown the coupon on their rewards page, for example. But the user clicked a Google ad somewhere, came on the platform and used CRED's coupon. Now with respect to performance marketing perspective, that sale is attributed to the performance marketer, in this case Google and not CRED, although they have used CRED coupon. Now what we do is to increase efficiency in the channel, over a month we see how many such overlaps are coming or which is the right channel which is influencing the user. Now it is up to us and in our hands in terms of which TG or which cohort of users on CRED, in this case, we would like to start cutting down. So it's an ongoing optimization part, but we do have every attribution signal, what we need, whether in real time or as an offline reconciliation.
But why you want to cut down CRED users? I want to understand.
So that's a very good question. Now let's say if I'm giving, again, I'll just take hypothetical numbers. Let's say my typical discount coupon for a new user is 100 rupees on the platform. For CRED, I have given that discount coupon at 150 rupees. Okay? And CRED is not charging me any distribution cost because that 150 rupees itself includes the distribution cost at their end. Now, if a user has taken that 150 rupees but has also come, let's say, through Google, so I need to pay Google as well for that user. So the CAC, the cost of acquisition including discounting, is much higher compared to if I had given that 100 rupees to that user. So 50% it becomes more expensive for me on discounting perspective to get that user from Google. So that is where there is a need to start cutting down on loss-making cohorts or loss-making segments at the partner end also.
The last closing questions, 5 ingredients of well-designed, successful influencer campaign that you can advise across all categories.
For me, the biggest objective for any influencer campaign is reach. If I'm not able to get the right reach in the right TG, then those set of influencers don't work for me. I'll give you a small example. We have onboarded a lot of mega influencers who had, let's say, 500K plus kind of followership in specific tier 1 and metro cities for dine out. Okay? Now these mega influencers, we spend crores of rupees behind them to create content, go into the restaurant, order some food, eat that food, create some reel or content and publish it. What actually happened was there was almost nil or zilch increase in the traffic on the platform, forget about conversions or the orders which were coming in. But there was a lot of views which came on that person's content, which is of no use to me in this case, right? I am actually paying to brand that person and not getting traffic on my platform, right? So that is where the first point is if they are able to get the right traffic for me on the platform and how will they get it, right? Second thing is how they are able to form or follow my brand guidelines and guardrails and brand ethos so that they don't divulge much with respect to the content or the kind of brand guidelines what we have. Third is what kind of ROI they are bringing to me, and that goes back to the attribution model what I spoke. So I would like to keep all of them on the same attribution window, right? Typically what happens is for any specific influencer, if it's a celebrity, we actually are more gung-ho about the content what they are creating and the concurrency what they are building if it's a live event or what kind of viewership they have got on their own channels, but that doesn't help us. So based on standardized attribution window, standardized commercial model, what is the kind of traffic, what is the kind of conversion they are able to get us is a very strong point what we keep in our influencer marketing model. Fourth is how we are able to split between on-platform and off-platform content. How many influencers I can get to create content on my platform, on Swiggy. We are actually coming up with a program very soon in that, where we'll be giving options for users, micro nano influencers to create content and publish it on the Swiggy platform, right? And technically creating a marketplace in future for brands to come and get some advantage of those influencers. So actually they can come and bid for those influencers on Swiggy's platform itself, right? Because these are food bloggers, and imagine your small time restaurants, right, who have very good sale, but they don't have the right team to do any kind of marketing. This entire offering will be a very big advantage for them. They may not be able to go to an influencer otherwise, but now they have an option that these are my top ranked influencers, this is the kind of sale they have generated, this is the kind of viewership they are getting on Swiggy itself. So they may be able to actually get those influencers for themselves for marketing their own products. That is the fourth one. And off-platform is something what we are planning to do in a way where we are trying to onboard almost 100K plus influencers through agencies or directly on our platform to get a maximum reach. So these 4 or 5 things is something which will govern our complete influencer marketing strategy.
Thank you so much. Highly appreciate all your inputs. Extremely well described about the influencer strategies that shall follow, I think, everyone. So we, as you saw, Time's Up was there. So as a momentum, we would like to give to you, thought a lot with our team, you know. We could give you, I don't know, some headphones or something like that. But we understood, as I said, that everyone is a star, right? But I mean, right now you are a real star. The star in this galaxy is named after you. You can see the coordinates of the star, which completely wearing your full name. It's official, it's registered right now. You can find in the galaxy your personal star, which somewhere is shining. And if you feel down, sometimes we all feel down, you always can look up and think that, you know, something is there for me that is shining for me always, forever. That's my wishes. Thank you so much.
Forbes India presents DRIM CosmoFest, Future of Digital Influence.